Okay, and we are YouTube Live. We'll loosen up, just some traditional Gregorian dance moves for you guys. I hope you don't feel offended by that at all. My name is Benjamin Kepner. Welcome to Saco Maine Summit, where I'm giving a speech. I've had the honor of the privilege today of speaking on what we call, what is it, TED-Ed? TED-Ed, no, Saco Maine Summit, that's right, that's where we are, we're in Saco, Maine. So we are reminded to remember, we are reminded to remember. We are reminded to always remember in this gathering of learning today, in this temple of presentations, that today is really about empowering our students and inspiring them to learn. So I thought it was very, as someone said earlier today, my audience is in Maine. One of my favorite quotes that I live my life by is actually "Get Busy Living" or "Get Busy Dying" by Stephen King. My father was a big proponent of that life motto, and that's how I like to live my life. So as I mentioned, my name is Benjamin Kepner. I'm the founder of Global Social Media Marketing, and I'm also a Google for Education certified trainer. You can see all of my contact information here on the first slide. So right here is going to be the Twitter, website, my Google Plus, and YouTube channel. Right here, I'd like to take a second to stop the presentation and go to my YouTube channel. So if anyone's near a computer or their phone, go to YouTube and type Benjamin Kepner. Yes, that is Benjamin. All about the Benjamins. Go there. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. This presentation is actually being filmed live right now as we're talking, and you'll be able to watch it after. So, overview of an agenda here. Hey, no worries. So this is the overview agenda. I'm not going to go over into this. I don't need to read all this for you today, but my presentation today is really focusing on what is edutainment, how can we use edutainment in the classroom, and how does that connect with YouTube? And then at the end, I'm going to go into some more tactical things as well as some strategy on, hey, how do we make money from YouTube? How do we organize this for a curriculum? And how do we make this global? How do we make this something that the whole world can see? So, to start, what is edutainment? Edutainment is simply defined as combining education with entertainment. Often it's hosted by curiosity-seeking hosts or professional experts or thought leaders that provide education that's entertaining in a memorable way. So, as hopefully most of you are recognizing this video, I'm going to ask it in a question. What is this show? Jeopardy! Jeopardy is the longest running game show in history now in the United States. Alex Trebek, what a man. You know, he's a very curious person. He created a television show that now is one of the most successful YouTube channels on YouTube. So really, what I'm getting at here too is that edutainment, it has a lot of influence that's closely directly related to television, music, and cinema or communication sciences.
Max, what is Peru? No. Kevin, what is Colombia? Right. Oh. No flight for Max, but a good run for Kevin, who leads with 5,200. Select.
So, some quick questions. I skipped this a slide here. So I wanted to give a real life example of a video that actually my roommate Peter, I want to thank you for helping me with my presentation today. He's a science teacher. He teaches at a high school and he teaches biology. One of his techniques, as I'm sure many of you teachers are very familiar with, is the hook concept, right? You start the presentation, you get the audience in, you show them the material, and then you ask them some questions. So I'm going to show you guys this video, and then we're going to answer some questions. Keep in mind, this is for my science folk.
What is the most astounding fact you can share with us about the universe? The most astounding fact. The most astounding fact is the knowledge that the atoms that comprise life on Earth, the atoms that make up the human body, are traceable to the crucibles that cooked light elements into heavy in their core under extreme temperatures and pressures. These stars, the high mass ones among them, went unstable in their later years. They collapsed and then exploded, scattering their enriched guts across the galaxy. Guts made of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and all the fundamental ingredients of life itself. These ingredients become part of gas clouds that condense, collapse, form the next generation of solar systems, stars and ordinary planets. And those planets now have the ingredients for life itself. So when I look up at the night sky, and I know that yes, we are part of this universe, we are in this universe, but perhaps more important than both of those facts is that the universe is in us. When I reflect on that fact, I look up. Many people feel small because they're small and the universe is big, but I feel big because my atoms came from those stars. There's a level of connectivity. That's really what you want in life. You want to feel connected. You want to feel relevant. You want to feel like you're a participant in the goings-on of activities and events around you. That's precisely what we are, just by being one.
Okay, so class or fellow teachers, what is something that you already knew? Anyone?
That there were many universes, maybe?
Very good. There's many big universes. There are atoms. How about what is something that you learned that you found interesting in the video?
That we are part of all of it
Okay,
within us.
great. And what would you guys like to learn more about?
In what ways?
Go ahead.
How something that's made of stuff that started in the stars can write a poem.
Okay, great, awesome. So this is a real life example of a teacher in science that's using videos that are educational but also entertaining and that engage the class, and he's asking questions to recap that video, and it's inspiring further learning. So, to tie it back again to edutainment, As a YouTube creator, YouTube encourages people to create videos that they're passionate about. So, in line with that, today, I have created an original piece of content and video specifically for today's presentation. It's called the Wave Spell Dance. One of my favorite bands, they're an instrumental band, the name is STS9, so going back to the universe, they are a very space-oriented band. Pretty much their main genre that they're trying to go for is space funk, if you want to even classify that as a genre. But really it's just instrumental involved with electronic music for the future of space. So this is their album that they created this year. They released it earlier. They actually produced it in one day. They locked themselves into a studio and they improvised everything that they did, and they created what they call Wave Spell. Wave Spell is the band in their rawest form that was all done improvisationally, and it's dedicated to the belief that music is the most powerful force in nature. It casts its spell through waveforms, carrying sound and light, moving energy and frequencies through our mind, body, and soul. So if you look at the picture that's on the album artwork, you might interpret that many ways, right? Who are those people? Is that an alien? Is that a opera singer? There's some mad scientist going on there. There's some guy that looks like a ninja, but he's got this ski mask on that's in space, and there's waves going. I mean, there's a lot of interpretation from that album. But really for the band, what this symbolizes is it was something for them to be able to explore. Something that they weren't told, we're gonna play this song, we're gonna play this type of music. They just went into a room, they spoke to their instruments, and they improvised and they created what they released earlier this year. So it got me thinking, how did humans or people like us learn for the ability to dance? How did we learn how to do that? And after I started researching for the presentation today, I found out that one of the main deciding factors in how people dance is actually imitation. They see someone dance and they try to emulate it. They look at, a video, or they go to a game, a sports game, and someone's dancing and then they see this new move and then they try to practice it and do it themselves. So it got me thinking, wait a second, I'm about to be at Saco Main Summit, and I want to teach my fellow teachers in this room, a new dance. I'm going to create a new dance for this presentation. So that's what I did. I took this person right here, who we don't really know who he is, but if you look at it, it seems like he's kind of, the waves are coming at him, right? He's feeling the motion of the music, the soul, the passion behind it. So, with that being said, I have a challenge for the class today. The challenge is I want to show you a funny video that I created just 24 hours ago. Created this dance, and the dance is supposed to emulate that guy in that album artwork as the waves are running through his body. So try not to laugh too much at me, and watch this with an open mind. And then I'm gonna challenge you guys to stand up in class with me, watch this video, and then show me what your wave spell dance would look like. Maybe he looks familiar, similar to the album artwork. So this is my wave spell dance. And you can continue to just, laugh, think whatever you want to think of me. It's perfectly fine. I don't care. I'm in my own world sometimes. but that's my wave spell dance. You know, that's how I'm interpreting that piece of artwork in a musical representation of dance. I'm trying to imitate that art, and for me, the move of the wave spell is through the body and feeling the wave. So, with that being said, I want to challenge you guys today, when this video of foolishness ends, to stand up with me and show me what your wave spell is. And this was not practiced at all. This is all improvisational. Okay. That's enough wave spell. So, I want everyone to stand up. Stand up. Okay, class. The challenge is for you to listen to this song, and I want to see the class's wave spell dance. Just give me a second.
That might be on YouTube. I'm all set.
Okay, class. The challenge is show me your wave spell. Go. What's your wave spell? Maybe it's flowing. Maybe it's the body is moving. Maybe the hands are letting go. This is great. This is great. This is the best wave spell dance I've ever seen. Look at all this. This is beautiful. All right, guys, great. Thank you so much. That was awesome. That was awesome. Give yourself a round of applause. I hope there was something fun for you guys today. All right. Yeah, it's going to be viral. You guys are going to be the first viral sensation of the new wave spell dance. Bring that back to your classroom and you teach your kids, which is
Sarah, you should do that with your advisory kids.
Absolutely. First day, baby.
First day.
okay. So, you know, after all of that, you know, I hope, you know, the foolishness aside, the dancing, the music, it's all great, but, you know, I did that to show you guys, one, that, you know, regardless of what you guys have learned today, you are going to remember that wave spell dance today. Why are you going to remember it? Anyone in the audience? Why are you going to remember that today?
Because it was fun.
It was fun.
It was emotional.
It involved you to move, to get up. It was creative, maybe. You know, I didn't give you any guidelines. I showed you my wave spell, and then you guys tried to imitate it, or you did your own version of it, or whatever. But you're gonna remember that because it hit some type of emotional response psychologically, and you're saying, "Wow, I really like doing this. This wave spell thing is kind of silly, but I'm gonna remember it because it's kind of fun. So why did it work as a new teaching method? You know, I even had my roommate tell me, well, what does that even mean? That sounds like a marketing word to me. Well, the point of it is, I'm not gonna read through all of these points, you can see them there. My main point with appealing to your emotions is in my world of education is that I want education to empower whoever I'm teaching, students, colleagues, professionals. I want them to be inspired. I want them to be motivated to learn more about the topic. I want them to be happy when they're learning. I don't want it to be this grueling process of, oh, I have to do another worksheet, or I have to do another quiz, or I've got to study this and write it on the blackboard. You know, but learning should be fun, you know? And I think that if you looked at any of the things that you probably taught in your careers and it was fun, you probably got a pretty good response back from your students about it. So with that being said, you know, the benefits here are learning through play. It gives you that freedom to enjoy learning. You've got engaged lessons, right? I've heard a ton of teachers today say, well, you know, with my K-12 students, this just isn't gonna work because they're not paying attention or they lose interest, which makes sense, you know, with all the technology going on today and everyone's scrolling their whatever feed, the attention span is gone. So that's what edutainment also provides as value, is to keep people entertained, to keep learning. You know, going back to edutainment's correlation to education, you know, TV, cinema, YouTube just released YouTube TV in the last year. I don't know if anyone in the classroom is watching television on YouTube now, but they're doing that. And then they've also released YouTube Red, which is like their Netflix. And then they've also released their now premium subscription for music. So YouTube no longer is just this video search engine. It's really become a social network for edutainment. You can go there to be entertained and learn, or you can combine the two of them together. So those are some things that I think are important when you're kind of talking about what is this edutainment concept, why is it important? And then lastly, it's applying the flipped learning methodology, right? Allowing the students to go back and review the material at their own pace, inside or outside of the classroom. Meaning, you can take the video home, you can do it on your own time. I could potentially create a curriculum on videos that I send to the students before the class to allow more time for interaction and discussion around that material. Generally, from the studies that I've been reading as well, it does take a little bit of time to have the students adapt to learning through videos. But overall, there's been some studies that show that students will learn better through videos for multiple reasons compared to a traditional classroom method. So, with that being kind of leading into my next video, I want to just hear what you guys think edutainment YouTube videos could encompass. What are some topics that you guys could have that would be educational and entertaining? Anyone shout them out.
Math shapes.
Math shapes, okay?
We teach the Revolutionary War in the 3rd grade, so there's lots of Revolutionary War videos for kids.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, see, these are all great examples of different ways to teach what you've been teaching in a different form that might appeal to the children a little bit better because it's fun, it's interactive, it's learning, it's visual. There's a lot of psychological, you know, reasoning behind why edutainment works. So, you know, all in all, it's just another brick in the wall, right? Kids, they don't need no education. No thoughts control. But we have to put the freedom for them to learn in a way that encourages them to learn outside of the classroom. That's what edutainment can do. So that being said, you know, students are drowning in technology, but they really should be using it to leverage how they learn things. And that comes from teachers. And so my next video example to show you a topic of edutainment is Legos. Legos has been historically proven scientifically and statistically as one of the best way for young children to build creativity skills, engineering, problem solving, and motor skills. Those are all great building blocks for any future scientist, engineer, mathematician. They involve using your mind in building something, and going back to that dance example of the wave spell that's going to become viral now because of you guys. Legos are encouraging you to imitate something, right? You see something and you build it. So this is a great example of a YouTube channel that's called, I think it's JK Brickworks, is the name of the YouTube channel. And the guy literally is building Legos on his YouTube channel and showing you how he built it. So how great is that in a classroom when you give students the ability to say, hey, I want you to make some Legos, here's some channel that you can watch and learn how to build it, come to class prepared, and this is your project. You know, that's such a powerful learning opportunity. And I'll just show you this example because what's happened also is that this is also just not for children anymore, Legos. Like Legos has become for artists, for adults. You know, people that are into architecture or engineering are building things as prototypes, as Legos, and then building the future of construction. It's amazing, really. So here's an example of one of the artists, and I just thought this was a really cool video.
I'm super excited to show you Crystal's latest Lego model. Now, at first glance, this might simply look like a static sculpture of a human head, but what really makes this model special is what is on the inside. If you take a closer look at the top of the head, you will notice that it is hinged on either side, and there is a split down the middle. And as we open it up, we are treated to this wonderfully colorful world of pure imagination rising up from the inside. Before I show you the mechanics of how it all works, let's take a quick look at some of the cool details that Crystal's built into the scene. In the front, we have a city that's being attacked by these cool creatures, and as you can see, they've already done some destruction to it. As we move around the side, the city continues. We have a cool little flying saucer here. We come across a bunny rabbit and a dinosaur eating lunch together in a cafe. As we come around the back, you see this world of enormous plants and mushrooms, and here's a little micro-scale human for scale, and a black rocket ship launching into the sky. Here's a seascape with a sailboat on a water spout. And as we come across back to the front, we see a little propeller plane coming in to attack the creatures, help defend the city. And of course, this is all punctuated by this beautiful yellow castle in the center, which is actually quite large. And as I close and open the model again, you'll notice that it moves up and down twice as fast as the rest of the scene in order for it to retract all the way into the head.
And I think this is also a great
So how
example
does that all work?
of,
Here I have a
you know,
standalone model
showing children how things work, while also leaving their imagination open, right? Maybe some child would have seen the inside of that person's Lego example and said, those are not monsters, those are actually
It
fairies.
is attached.
Hey, those
to
are,
either side of the top
you know,
of the head.
dandelions and flowers, you know? These type of things that you get from video
Does on either side.
really visually inspire and ignite your imagination compared to a normal piece of paper.
Basically, all the
You
other
can't get
details
that
are
type of
built on
emotional response or impact like you can with YouTube videos
For
sometimes.
the inner platform containing the castle,
So I'm not gonna go
we have
through all this, but you get the idea there. So the YouTube education category, there's actually an entire category of YouTube dedicated to education. It's the second largest category on YouTube today, education. There's a channel, if you click on this link right here, that will take you to the YouTube education category on YouTube. And this category is actually populating automatically the most popular watched education videos on YouTube. So it's a great resource for you guys. You know, you want to go dive into anything you want to learn in education, I would start there. Great place, they automatically update it and it's showing the most popular videos. Maybe they're not relevant for your age group, some of them might not be appropriate for what you're teaching, but there's so much content there that that's really a great resource for you guys to use. There's a reason why YouTube's education category is number 2, because they created that category. Another great resource is TED Ed. You heard me kind of joke around a little bit about how I was speaking at TED Ed. I want to thank Wolfpack, if anyone knows that band, for that skit. But you know, TED Ed was really developed for a way for teachers to take YouTube videos and create lesson plans, presentations, quizzes. And I've already seen actually a presentation today when someone showed a TED Ed event. So I know that other teachers out there that are doing this are showing that channel. And another thing I wanted to mention today too, every presentation that I've sat in today showed a YouTube video. There's a reason why every person that spoke today showed a YouTube video, because it got a point across, it you know, struck some type of emotion, whether it was the sound or the visual or the feel or the, you know, dialogue or the scenes. You know, there's a reason why we're using YouTube videos to teach. And so I started to doing some more research about this, you know, about edutainment and YouTube videos. And there was actually a study done by Gerald Markey and Retta Guy, in which they gave students video lessons and podcasts prior to the week of curriculum. And then they compared it to a normal traditional classroom. And guess what? The results were that the students that learned through video lessons ended up actually performing better than they had when they were just doing the traditional class material. And that just goes back to the benefits that I was showing you earlier of why that's happening. You know, the psychological aspect, the ability to explore, the freedom of kind of discovering, which learning should really be about, right? Learning should be fun. It should inspire us to want to learn more. It should not portray us from saying, I don't want to learn this. I really don't like this. I'm just doing the work to just get it done and that's it. No, like when you really love something, you're passionate about it, you create a wave spell dance. That's what happens. So I think, you know, one of the big things is to define your audience. You know, that should be relevant to what type of topics that you're teaching, as well as, you know, what grade level. So, you know, I don't need to go into that, except, you know, just understanding how it should kind of morph in time. So your audience, you should know, are they watching this video for the first time? Do they have any context about the material that you're teaching them? If they don't, okay. Well, then you need to have something that's more introductory. You need to find their learning needs, right? So if they're, I don't know, a third grader and they need to learn how to pass, you know, you need to know that that's your primary objective, so their linguistic ability to and, you know, have a topic sentence, or write grammar with punctuation. You want to develop it for the easily. You can also test different video attention reports. That you go, who is watching? That's a right. Sometimes a hand learning material to some. To be honest, you might not ever know if that person even looks at that material. If it's a physical piece of form, you give them that paper. You might be able to tell, obviously, on a quiz or test result that they didn't look at it or they didn't study it. But YouTube is giving you that instant, real-time, hey, I know this person watched it, I know exactly how long they watched it for, I know from, you know, what time they fell off. So like, if the material wasn't engaging, they only went a minute into the video when it was a 4-minute long video. These are super powerful learning metrics that we can look at and say, is the content that I'm showing these students, is it effective? Do they actually follow through, and are they learning about this stuff? Are they actually doing all the material that I'd like them to do? You know, you want to connect, use light situations from your target audience, make content more relatable. So, you know, for me, for example, today, I figured probably no one knew who STS9 was or a wave spell, but I connected with you guys in a way that it kind of made sense after we went through that whole explanation of like, oh wow, he's teaching us about his favorite band and like, you know, how to do a new dance move. It kind of clicked after that. And then you want to find ways to, you know, meet their interests, passions, and learning objective. So like I mentioned to you, you know, YouTube has said many of times for their creators, why would you want to make videos that no one wants to watch? Why would you want to make videos that you're not passionate about? So focus on what your students are interested and passionate about, and maybe try to make videos around that type of, you know, approach. So steps to building your YouTube channel. I know I kind of skipped over this, so we'll go right back. I can pull my YouTube channel up if you guys like, if it's easier, but you know, I kind of wrote down the very basics for you. So I think it would probably be pretty beneficial actually if I just pulled up mine and showed you kind of how mine looks. So here is the banner right here. So on your YouTube channel, right, you are allowed to put a piece of artwork. I promoted my presentation for today. I wanted everyone to know I was presenting. I wanted to try to get some YouTube live streamers. So you want to customize that. You know, if you're going to have a schedule of consistent content, right? I saw, for example, some lady today, she showed, I was in a virtual reality presentation, and she showed that Google Expeditions every week releases a Tip Tuesday. You know, so why, as a YouTube creator or a teacher, would you not try to have a consistent weekly type of schedule, whether you're creating the video or not, just to have a consistent content? You know, every week you gotta have text quotes or something like that that just reinforces that, you know, every week this person is going to, and then they expect that content. It's a really good way to kind of set yourself up for consistency and to build your channel. Other thing I would say, we'll just kind of do this if we can. I lost it. Is you want to have a channel trailer. Channel trailer really just helps you define your YouTube channel so that when people come to your YouTube channel, they know exactly what to expect, right? It's giving that description and saying, hey, my YouTube channel is Benjamin Kepner. I'm going to put Google for Education training presentations on it. I'm going to put musical dances like the STS9 wave style dance, and I'm probably going to throw in some technology and science nerd stuff because that's what I'm passionate about. And so my students will know that, and hopefully in time I can evolve that to make sure that it's fitting their interests. Add accurate titles and metadata. So really what that means is when you make a video, you want to title it. You want to have that search term correct. You don't want to just, you know, I see a lot of people in schools when they make YouTube videos, they make it very school focused and they don't make it topic focused. Meaning, you know, here's a great stat for you guys. Probably most of you don't know this. 80% of YouTube's videos are watched outside of the United States. 80%. So the fact that you guys are creating YouTube videos, whatever type of video it is for your school, and you put it into, let's just use Saco Middle School for example. That may be great for Maine, but for the world, no one's searching for Saco Middle School. So why wouldn't you name the presentation maybe Edutainment? Or why wouldn't you name the presentation, you know, scientific facts about the universe? That way, you're going to allow yourself to get discovered more. You're going to allow other people to learn. And then you're also inviting in that collaboration aspect, right? I mean, people that like good videos, YouTube is a social media network. It's a place where people go, they comment, they like, they discuss. Why would you not want to further your video's educational, content or purposes by having the rest of the world get involved with it if it's appropriate? Interact with the audience, I kind of touched on, so people can comment. You could do a quiz in the comments, maybe. Right after the video is published, you put a quiz of, like I showed you guys earlier today. What did you learn the most? What would you like to learn more about? What was the key point from the video? And then the last thing would be creating playlists. So playlists are really good to kind of organize your content by topic or section. And that's also another great way for you guys not to have to make videos. The last presentation I gave on YouTube, I asked the class, how many people have made YouTube videos? 10% of the class had actually made their own video. And I understand that, it's like you guys are teachers, you're busy, that's not your primary objective. It takes a lot of time. You might not have the resources or the equipment. You might not know how to edit videos. You might not have even really thought about YouTube until today. So it's one of those things where you can create a YouTube channel and not be a YouTube creator, but you can take what's already out there and organize it into a curriculum or a lesson plan that's already been developed for you. YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world, and it's billions of videos, millions that are getting uploaded every day. I just told you that the YouTube education category alone has 10 million subscribers. The other thing is too with all of this, the discoverability, that point we'll get into more, but there's tons of languages. And YouTube actually reaches 95% of the entire internet population today. So why wouldn't you be making educational content on YouTube? So this is the video manager. This is kind of the back end. And I'll show this to my beginners in the class, because I did hear that there was a beginner or two in here. So if we went to YouTube, to my channel, I guess I can just go here. You can kind of see from here, in the top right-hand corner, you have all these different options for your YouTube account. Within your YouTube account, you'll go to My Channel. And then you would be able to see all of your back end. And then here's the Creator Studio. If it ever loads. And this is the Video Manager slide that I'm showing you. So this is kind of like your main hub. And from here you can kind of go off. So the Video Manager is really more for kind of organizing your content, putting them into playlists, seeing your videos, editing them, live streaming, where we're going to get into a little bit. Community, that's more about your audience, so your subscribers, your messages, your channel. How is your channel organized? Are you monetizing it? What are the status? And then the analytics and the translation. This is kind of something I mentioned to you earlier in the presentation, is like, I know that 302 minutes have been watched to my YouTube channel. And I know exactly the duration. If I want to drill this down even more, I can see exactly from each video, all of these different metrics, which are great for me, because then it's teaching me if what I'm teaching is really working, So it's really great that YouTube offers this kind of Creator Studio Video Manager for you. And I just wanted to kind of show you my channel, because I know that sometimes it's a little bit difficult for beginners to kind of understand how that may be set up. So that's kind of a nutshell in it, but this is kind of what it looks like when you go into a video, if you're going to click and edit a video. So you'll have the info and the settings, the end screen, the annotations, the title, the description, the tags, the thumbnail. These are all things that go into making your video a successful video on YouTube. And I think a lot of people, think that the success of doing a YouTube video, for example, is making it viral, right? Coming out with some great piece of content, and it's just so creative, and it was shot well, and there was awesome music and all these things. And it's like, yeah, those are all important factors, but all of these things are how your videos get found. And people don't spend the time to fill in that information. How are you ever gonna get found? How are you ever gonna encourage that collaboration that we saw earlier today about innovating, right? It's about risk-taking, it's about collaborating. And so that's what YouTube is. It's a great collaboration platform. So I kind of mentioned, there's some different ways that you can set up your videos. You don't have to start making videos today. There's so many videos already out there. You could literally go search YouTube, just like it's Google, and pretty much find anything you want to learn. 18% of the people that go onto YouTube, guess what they go on YouTube for? To learn something. So, and I just told you the second biggest category on YouTube is education. So go out there, start searching, start making playlists, start favoriting videos, start thinking about, okay, I've got a biology exam coming up, like maybe I need to talk about evolution, I need to get some great evolution videos going, or talk about Homo sapiens and Neanderthals and that whole development. It's one of those things where there's tons of content out there, so you shouldn't have to feel like you're overwhelmed trying to create new content. Granted, that's great if you can create new content, right? Like that video, that wave spell that you guys saw, I did it on my iPhone 6, that's like 3 years old. It's all cracked up. I filmed it myself, I taped it to a tripod, and then I uploaded it to YouTube. Everyone here probably has a smartphone. There's an app that you can actually film the videos, like right now what I'm doing. There's a YouTube app, there's also a YouTube video editor. Really all you need is a smartphone. Everything else is, you don't have to think you're a movie company or a cinema company, right? You're doing it for educational purposes, and sometimes those real moments, they're more memorable because people can connect to it. It's more relatable. So when you organize your curriculum, I would say put them into sections. So if it's science, math, literature, whatever, put it into playlists then from there. You want to, if you're doing just like with lesson planning, right, you want to start somewhere and then guide them into what the next lesson is. So if you create a playlist, start with the Revolutionary War and then start with whatever the next historical event that you're trying to cover. Do it in the timeline. Short videos are better, right? My wave spell dance was a great example. That was about 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 15 seconds. If I had been showing you guys a wave spell for 5 minutes, you probably would have lost interest. You probably lost interest after the first minute. But it's just one of those things that shorter is better. Attention spans are pretty tough these days to keep a hold of. And you just want to make sure that you're holding that attention. You can brand your videos. You can provide resources. So another thing that I don't know if any of you have ever noticed, when you watch a video, there are little kind of cords, like note cards, boxes. They come up in the YouTube video. Some of those are ads, but some of them are actually links that you can click on and they take you to another YouTube video. Or they take you to a website. Or they take you to a learning resource. That's what's called a card. And you can add those to every YouTube video so that when the person's about to finish the video, they have something to go discover. That's that, again, encouraging people to continue learning, and you're not giving them this kind of adsy suggested YouTube or suggested, like what you would see on Facebook, like this page. No, you guys actually created the card saying, I don't want my student leaving this video, and then after this video, I want them going to this video. I don't want them to be distracted. I don't want them to go off into the world of YouTube. I'm going to create this curriculum, they're going to follow it, and then there's going to be a logical path for them. The other thing that you could do too is you can pin your favorite comment to the top. So let's say you created a viral video and there's hundreds of comments. You could literally go and you could read the comments. You could go heart, that's what they call it on YouTube, instead of like, and say that you're enjoying that comment, give that person respect, or show them that you really appreciated their comment. And then you could go and take the biggest comment. And the way that I brought this up earlier was like a Q&A, right? Let's say someone asks a question, maybe you do a poll. There's a lot of different ways that you could use comments in the YouTube video itself to encourage further discussion and further learning of the material after the video's been played. So search and discovery, I touched on this. Thumbnails are just the image that you see before you watch the video. So that would be like if you walked in to Socko down the street and there's an animal shop, you could go buy this cute loving dog and you saw it in the window and you said, man, Scruffy is my next dog. I saw the picture of him before I even got into the shop. I knew I wanted him because I saw him from the window. That's how you need to think of a thumbnail. If someone looks at your video, they should know immediately from the thumbnail of the image before they play that video what they're expecting to see. It should be engaging, it should be a vibrant image. It should almost kind of be its own like static video in a way that explains the video, if that makes sense. Concise descriptive titles, I went over that today, so putting a video out there about your school, that's great locally. But for a greater impact of learning and collaboration, you should probably focus on the topic. You should focus on the question. You should focus on what the material is specifically teaching. Keywords can also be researched in the YouTube search for your description. So what you could do in time as your video gets more traction or you decide to go more into YouTube, you go back to your analytics and you can say, okay, these are the people that are searching these keywords to find my YouTube videos. I should probably start using those keywords to start titling my videos. I should probably start putting those keywords in my description. That's going to encourage more finding of the video and search and discovery. I put some other great ways that you can find things. So these are some good websites. If you want to see what's trending, you can kind of piggyback off creating content like that. You can use direct quotes to find exact matches or not include words or exclude words. And then you can actually search by the length of the video. So I gave you guys an example. Maybe you want to go find out about Newton's law. You could type in short, and then you could say video less than 4 minutes, and it's going to spit back to you a Newton's law video of 4 minutes. There's some really good options there, and then the last thing I wanted to just mention too is the virtual reality and 360-degree video. I know that's super new right now, and like personally, I'm also just kind of getting into that as well. But I saw a presentation today on VR, and it was really inspiring to kind of see a district here in Maine that's already integrating Google Cardboard with these Best Buy kits with virtual reality. That actually helps to make your content more discoverable, right? It's just adding another way to digest that content.
So who owns the video? You own the video, do Google own the video? Who owns the video?
So that's a great question, and it's also a complex question.
Yeah.
So the ownership of the video it would be based upon many factors, right? So an example of the wave spell, for example, I don't own that song, but I bought that song. And sometimes that's kind of a game that you have to play with YouTube, is you upload a video, maybe it's using an audio track from someone else that's an original artist that created that. Some artists, they don't really care. They're just like, oh great, somebody created a YouTube video of me. Somebody else, like, I don't know, Justin Bieber or, I don't know, some famous musician that you want to call out, Rolling Stones.
Roger Walters.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Pink Floyd, Roger Walters. Like, those people probably don't want you posting videos of their music. So what can you do to prevent that? Actually, there's an option when you upload your video. When you edit the video, you can add sound to it, and YouTube will actually give you pre-approved music to use for you. The other thing that you can do, an example of the wave spell, that video, it probably won't have any issues because some of the sound was like in the background. It wasn't like I used the original audio quality of it. It was like in the background, so YouTube's technology, it tries to recognize it to the best of its ability, but it's not flawless. So what I'm trying to tell you is that as a YouTube creator, you own the content that's original content coming from you. That's what you own. If you use anything else, like an image or a song or another video from someone else, and you put that into your video, YouTube's algorithm is going to look at that, it's going to identify it, and then it's going to say, hey, do you know that you're taking this other type of content from this other person? Are you saying it's okay to upload this video without getting in trouble with them? And you check the box yes or no at that point. At that point, it goes into a review system of the person that you're also collaborating with. If, example for the wave spell again, if STS9 came back to me and was like, hey man, that's not cool, you need to take that down, YouTube will just let you know that it won't go up and it won't be uploaded. So it's one of those things where there's not a definitive answer. It's kind of a game that they play, and the technology that YouTube uses to identify what artist or brand or other YouTube creators' content is in your video, it's not an exact science yet. And it's an approval process, and the best, rule of thumb, in my opinion, if you ever are in question about a video that you're gonna upload because you're using someone else's creative artwork, just reach out to them and ask them. Just say, hey, is it okay if I use this video? And then if you don't get response, most likely YouTube's gonna come back to you and just tell you can't upload it anyways. There's a lot of creative workarounds. I just gave you the example too of YouTube automatically gives you free things to use. So use that. There's a reason why they did that. They're trying to prevent those copyright infringement, copyright errors. So going global, I thought that this was super relevant to what I kind of mentioned to you guys earlier about, 80% of YouTube is outside of the United States. It's crazy. It's crazy that the rest of the world is watching that many videos. And so what you can actually do to make videos more appealing to the rest of the world is you can do community contributions. If you read in this slide, you'll see the notes at the bottom. It goes into a little bit more extensively how advanced you can get. So you can actually take your subscribers that subscribe to your YouTube video, and they can contribute to that video and help you translate it. Or you could just have anyone on YouTube. You could enable that feature on every video that you could create, and you could say, hey YouTube, I'm giving you the reins for anyone in the world to translate this video into Spanish. And then they'll go through a translation process, they'll send it to you. If you want to, really analyze it and look into the translation and the additions, you can. But YouTube is also doing a very good job of, making sure that they're only getting quality translation, right? It's all tying back to Google. Google owns YouTube. Google has Google Translate. That's all based upon machine learning. So the same thing applies for YouTube. So use translations. I think that making the viewing experience better with other things that can relate to different audiences are great. Like, maybe someone in China is just not gonna get the wave spell. They're gonna look at that and be like, what is this? But, if I didn't play any music and I put some subtitles in it that were in Chinese explaining what wave spell meant, that it was this raw form that was improvisational and it was the feeling of having sound go through your body, it might connect more. So I think it's really, a great idea to maybe take some of your best content and try to get it translated. Because one, you're gonna reach a new audience. Two, you're gonna get new ideas from different cultures and different teachers in the world. And three, you're gonna get your videos viewed by 80% of the YouTube population. You're missing out on 80% of the population by not trying to translate or use community contributors that are free. Doesn't cost you anything. So yeah, that's kind of my global speech. I think this is a great one. This was definitely, to your question, right? Who owns the content that's produced on YouTube? I mean, at the end of the day, it's almost like people have become their own artists on YouTube that create videos. And so they should get paid accordingly. And so in order to get paid on YouTube, if any person in here, is trying to find funding for their school, needs more of a school budget, needs to show to their district leader or principal or whoever that they need more money for technology stuff, you can actually make money on YouTube. The only requirement that you need to start making money on YouTube is you have to have 1,000 subscribers, which I know is a lot in the beginning, but if you think about how many people might be in your school, that's probably doable. If it's coming from higher up or it's on the morning announcements or you get the parents involved at a parent-teacher conference or something like that, it's really not that crazy. I can tell you the approach that I've taken is I went to my Facebook friends and I literally just went and I started messaging them and I said, hey, can you just subscribe to my video? It's one click. And I got 60 subscribers in 2 days. It's not anything crazy, you just have to ask. Once you get those 1,000 subscribers, the next thing is you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time. That's kind of a lot. However, if you take my advice on having consistent content and you reach out to your school about subscribing and you're creating a weekly curriculum plan or monthly curriculum plan, I guarantee by the end of the year, you would meet those requirements and you could go to your principal or your school district leader and say, look what I did. I created a new learning platform that the school never had, and guess what? It's also making the school money that we can reinvest to do better videos. We can get video equipment, we can get the nice video editing software, we can do other things with that money. And I think that's very empowering for any type of teacher. I've heard a lot today about budget cuts and how it's about the higher up decision makers. I guarantee if any of your schools saw money coming in from a YouTube channel they created for you guys, they would be ecstatic. Go
So
ahead.
is your YouTube channel personal or is it through a school?
So it could be
Or
business,
was it?
it could be one or the other. So you could have a school business account, or you could have your own personal account. So it's really up to you what you want to do. I think it also depends on your school, right? Like what their policies and regulations are behind that. Mine right now is personal because if I made a brand of my company, it would probably come across as really salesy. For school, that might be super beneficial because then all the students and parents know, hey, we have a dedicated school YouTube channel that we can go to. I think that's just up to your discretion of what you want to do. So I know we're running out of time, but these are some things that you can do to make money through YouTube: speaking engagements, crowdfunding, collaborations, open source content. And then I put a ton of resources for you guys. So, I would say I've covered pretty much every different type of topic that you could want. These are articles that I've written about YouTube. And I put some more slides in here, my sources. And I want to thank you guys for helping me create the first Wave Spell dance today. For me, that was amazing to get to create an original piece of YouTube content with you guys and remember that story for the rest of my life. And feel free to please give me feedback on my presentation today and connect with me. Thank you. Bye, guys. Sure.
When you add your videos, do you mostly just edit them using